Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of MJ Live. I am your host, Micah-Jamal. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at I am, and YouTube at I am Micah-Jamal. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, go head over to YouTube and search I am Micah-Jamal and go ahead and subscribe there for us. Now we have a little technical difficulties with the laptop, so I'm gonna have to try to work everything from my phone. So if it's a little off like it is now because the president picture is on there and it should not be there just yet, then please forgive me because this is kind of weird. But I'm so happy to be back. Tomorrow, starting at 9 p.m., you guys can check out All for One. We'll be back live tomorrow. Thank you for everyone who have continued to watch even the replays of this show and also the replays of All for One. Also, if you guys are looking for the What is Love series, you have to go over to Facebook. For some reason, YouTube blocked us. I have no idea, but for some reason, YouTube blocked us. Each one of them are saying copyright, but we have no music that is not stock music in any of the videos. So I'm not sure why YouTube is blocking us, but the videos are on Facebook and you guys can go over and see it then. So a few things that we're going to talk about tonight. We will not be long, but we'll go ahead and get through these things. One is going to be this, of course, the war on that's going on over in Ukraine. We're going to talk about what is going on there, how is it looking, and what can we expect. We're also going to talk about the State of the Union last night. I have a 2-minute, 36-second clip that I'm going to show you other State of the Union, and then we're going to talk about it. And also, we're going to go ahead because this is March, which is Women Month. So we want to go, Women History Month. So we want to go ahead and talk about the Supreme Court justice that was nominated by Joe Biden. We're not going to get too much in details about her. I'll give you guys my opinion, about that. And then later on, we'll go and have a show about her and why or why not that I feel that she should be confirmed to be on the Supreme Court. So we'll talk about that. Other than that, I think, just FYI, starting March the 10th. So let's take that down. So, guys, starting March the 10th, we're going to do a March Madness. It's the MJ Fitness March Madness. 21 days, March 10th through the 31st. All right? 21 days, because I think March have 31 days in it. I think. Unless I got my months wrong. Let me double check because I don't want to be looking like a fool out here in these streets. So, March. So, for 21 days, starting March the 10th, we're going to do a MJ Fitness March Madness. It's going to be 21 days again, March the 10th through the 31st, where I'm going to give you few things that I need you to do every day. This is going to jumpstart our body to lose the weight that we want to lose, or if we're just trying to tone, it's going to help us tone. Together for summer. If you're trying to get together for summer, listen, you have to start now. Okay, it is March. Summer is right around the corner. So make sure you go ahead and get on it so you can look your best for summer. So March 10th through the 31st, MJ Fitness March Madness, totally free. Just follow the regimen and let's see how it turns out. So let's jump right in this. So first, Ms. Jackson, all right? She has been nominated to be the replacement for Judge Breyer on the Supreme Court. I said this, and this is my opinion. If you don't agree, then so be it. Yes, let's praise, let's give honor, let's give homage, or whatever may you, that she will be the first Black African American, dark skinner, whatever you want to call her, female on the Supreme Court. However, I have a problem because I've started seeing patterns when it comes to Joe Biden and also the political class. Most politicians that really use blacks as a stepping stool or use black as a come up, or most white politicians love a certain type of black. And it's something that we don't really talk about. It's kind of like a hush hush, but it's very obvious. Okay. And Joe Biden is one of them. That they like a certain type of black. And it's time and time again, you'll see this in politics. And yes, I'm excited that Kamala Harris been having some black in her, and she's the first female president, a vice president. Great. Miss Jackson, black. She's the first black Supreme Court female that's going to, if she get elected, well, nominated and approved. Got it. But the issue that I'm having is Joe Biden tends to lean towards a certain type of blackness. You don't really see any urban black within the circle of influence when it comes to Joe Biden. You don't see urban blacks in high positions in his administration. You don't see the urban black getting nominated to be the Supreme Court justice. You don't see urban black being pointed to be the vice president. You had Akeisha Bottoms. He didn't go Akeisha Bottoms. You even had Stacey Abrams. She's not as urban, but she's more urban than Kamala. He didn't even go that route. But he went towards a black woman with a white husband. Let's just put it in layman's terms. Just like Miss Jackson, black woman with a white husband. And I can go down and down the list that you see certain politicians will only choose certain types of blacks. And I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that because what people do not understand, the black community is not a one size fit all. Once you get a black person that has money and influence, they have a different life than a regular urban black person. And if we have to stop praising the white liberals for putting a black face out there, but it's not a black face that has a black voice, or it's not a black face that came from a black struggle. So therefore, when they're making laws and making moves, they're not thinking about black, urban, traditional black. They're thinking about black people with money. Because it's a difference for being black in America and black with money. And if you watch how this administration is moving, and most white liberals, you will see that they go towards a safe black. This black woman is married to a white man. Kamala Harris is married to a white man. It is so you have to understand the concept when you're trying to push for an agenda, equality, criminal justice reform, school choice, or an urban development. You cannot have safe black rich people in power. You need someone that came from a struggle, someone that has an urban take to their blackness in order to change the policies to reflect the everyday black America. And you don't have that in Kamala Harris. You don't have that in Ms. Jackson, in my opinion. So you have to stop praising these white liberals for putting a black face out there, but never getting anything done. And they never get anything done because they don't understand the concept of an urban black mother or urban black son or urban black father. So therefore, they can never get anything done. All right. So we honor you. We say kudos for being a black woman nominated to the Supreme Court justice, but I really need this administration to do better when they coming and trying to say that we are here to bring equality and we are here to bring people together. You have to bring people together that speaks like me and not just look like me, because not all black is black, the same black. Okay, so that is what my take on that particular incident there. So let's talk about the State of the Union, and then we will be back. So I want you guys to take a look at this clip. This is just some highlights from the State of the Union from Joe Biden, and then we will talk.
Together with our allies, we're providing support to the Ukrainians in their fight for freedom. Military assistance, economic assistance, humanitarian assistance. We're giving more than $1 billion of direct assistance to Ukraine, and will continue to aid the Ukrainian people as they defend their country and help ease their suffering. Our forces are not engaged and will not engage in the conflict with Russian forces in Ukraine. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies in the event that Putin decides to keep moving west. In an America that has lived through two of the hardest years this nation has ever faced. The pandemic has been punishing, and so many families are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to keep up with the rising cost of food, gas, housing, and so much more. Unlike the $2 trillion tax cut passed in the previous administration that benefited the top 1% of Americans, the American Rescue Plan, lots of jobs. In fact, our economy created over 6.5 million new jobs just last year. More jobs in 1 year than ever before in the history of the United States of America. The economy grew at a rate of 5.7 last year, the strongest growth rate in 40 years. And the first step in bringing fundamental change to our economy that hasn't worked for working people in this nation for too long. You know, we've lost so much in COVID-19. Time with one another. The worst of all, much the loss of life. Let's use this moment to reset. So stop looking at COVID as a partisan dividing line. See it for what it is, a god-awful disease. Let's stop seeing each other as enemies and start seeing each other for who we are, fellow Americans. We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police, it's to fund the police. The most fundamental right in America is the right to vote and have it counted. And look, it's under assault. In state after state, new laws have been passed. Not only to suppress the vote, we've been there before, but to subvert the entire election. We can't let this happen. If we are to advance liberty and justice, we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system. Bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you. Go get him.
So, Joe Biden's speech. Let's talk about his speech. So a few things dealing with this speech, and I was just taking more notes because every time I hear him talk, it's just different things that stick out to me, because I tend to ignore him once he starts talking, because I think Joe Biden is the worst communicator when it comes to a national. I mean, just keep Jen Psaki out there and you just hush, because you aggravate us when you talk. But that's neither here or there. So a few things about his speech. First, he praised himself and saying that we are supporting the Ukrainians. However, you having all of these Ukrainians in leadership coming on all the network begging for more help, saying that Joe Biden and the administration is not doing enough to help them. They keep saying time and time again, we do not want your people to come fight for us. That is not what we're looking for. We're not looking for your people to fight for us. We're just looking for the weapons. That's all they asking for. The Ukrainian people is asking, send us the weapons. We can fight ourselves. but we need the weapons in order to fight. So for him to sit up there and say that they are helping the Ukrainians at full capacity is just a lie. And then Joe Biden keeps saying that, hey, we're not sending our troops in for battle. If you go back and listen to the very first time that he said that, not many days afterwards, Putin was in Ukraine. Why? Because Joe Biden showed his hand. We all knew you wasn't sending no American people over there to fight in this war because it had nothing to do with the NATO. We knew that. But you did not have to say that. That emboldened Putin to go ahead and attack. So a lot of things that Biden said, hey, we don't want to send these weapons beforehand because we don't want Putin to feel threatened. He's always leading behind. He's leading from behind. So we did not send them the proper weaponry that they needed in order to defend themselves because Biden was afraid that that will mess up and what say feather or scramble his feathers or whatever. So he did not want to send. In return, Putin still went in, and now the people are not equipped to fight. Now they're not equipped to fight. So he also said we don't want to sanction the oil because our NATO partners and our UN partners are relying on the oil. And now some of the NATO partners and the UN partners are saying, we're not going to buy the oil. He said we don't want to cut them, kick them out the SWIFT banking because then we cannot transact the monies for the oil. But then other countries are saying we want to kick them out of the SWIFT bank. So now Biden is considering it. So every step of Ukraine, he has failed and he has been leading from behind. Listen, don't be dumb. America can send in a covert team in the middle of the night and end all of this. They can. They can. We have done it before. They could send in a SEAL team, destroy all the Russian equipment, and call it a day. But now with Ukraine, well, we're going to talk about that Ukraine. Then Biden got a boo because he said the $2 trillion that the prior administration passed only benefited the top 1%. And then people start booing. Why did they boo? Because that's a lie. And that's not me saying it. The facts checkers, the liberal fact checkers gave him 3 Pinocchios for this. Because that's just not true. And then he went and said that we created $6.5 million $6.5 million jobs last year. But neglected to say, yeah, that is after we lost 9.6 million jobs during COVID. So I keep telling you guys, you got to stop listening to any politician for face value. Because when you hear we created 6.5 million jobs in just 1 year, that is, oh my gosh, that's great. But look, you lost 9.6 million during COVID. So you haven't even created enough job to cover the negative that you was already in. Okay? And then Biden said, in the clip that I showed you guys, he then goes on and said, we have to stop looking at COVID through partisan lenses. He said, we have to stop seeing each other as enemies. But it was Biden talking about the unvaxxed and saying it's the unvaxxed that's killing us. That it's going to be the virus of the unvaxxed. is going to be the pandemic of the unvaxxed. That he tried to shame people because they decided not to take the vaccine. We wasn't looking at each other as enemies. I don't give a damn if you got the vaccine or not. And you shouldn't either. Because if you have a vaccine and you believe that it's going to protect you, so what if Tom, Dick, or Harry, nor Harry decide to get the vaccine? You should be protected. So no one was making each other enemies but Joe Biden. So the good stuff, Joe Biden said that we have to fund the police and not defund the police, which I agree, because we need to educate them. And it goes back to what I said about blackness, that it is a different from certain blacks and certain blacks. So we need to make it more appealing to the urban black child to say, hey, I want to be on the police force. Because then they can police according to the lens that they was born in, rather than someone coming from the outside to try to police. Because that's where we get the issues at. Just like governing, you cannot govern. That's why you cannot be a citizen of California and run an election to be the governor of Georgia. Why? Because you don't know the mindset. You don't know, you're not assimilated to the procedures and the way of living here. Because the way of living here is way different than California. So we need to fund the police, but we need to figure out a way that we can reach that young urban man, that young urban woman, little boy, little girl, and pull them into the current criminal justice system in order to see change in the system. Joe Biden also said that we have to secure our borders. To me, that sounds like building a motherfucking wall. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, because nothing that you are doing now is securing the border. So the only thing left is to complete the wall. But then Joe Biden went, and Joe Biden said that we got to protect the voting rights, because the voting rights are under assault. State after state. Bullshit. And why I say that is simple. Because Delaware has some of the toughest voting laws in over almost all states in America. But yet and still, Biden has yet to condemn them. Biden had yet to fight for them to change that. But he wants to fight others, Republican-led states. So that's why I call bullshit, because I need you to have the same passion for the Republican state and the Democratic state. Wherever you feel that voting rights are being trampled upon and being stripped, we need to have the same conviction. All right? That's all I got for the State of the Union. It was an hour and 2 minutes long. He could have kept that. I think he could have made this speech in about 20 minutes, because the substance that he talked about was the Ukraine part. Some of that was a lie, but not all of it. Most of it was very true, and that's where everybody was agreeing with. That's where you saw the entire Congress agreeing. And then he went and he pivoted to the us versus them talk. He started talking about Donald Trump, and after the boo, I'm pretty sure they start telling him to everything you're going to compare it to the last administration from here on out, don't do it. Why do I say that? Because they always love to say, oh, it is the fault of X, Y, and Z. It's the fault of X, Y, and Z. This is the war because of Putin, the former administration, the former president. Putin decided, Xi decided, North Korea decided. The Biden administration, all of them does that. Jen Psaki, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the UN ambassador, all of them, the Secretary of Defense, if you listen to them, they always say, this is the fault of boom, boom, boom. So that's why I'm telling you, they say, oh, don't talk about Trump. Let's not get any more booze. But whew, we got another. We'll see how that happened. All right. So moving right along to our last topic for tonight, Ukraine. Let's talk about Ukraine. All right. Russia decided to go and invade Ukraine. Why? One of the reasons because he's sick, psycho son of a bitch. Moving to the political reasons, he fears that NATO will allow Ukraine into their induct them into their family, and therefore he will have a border with a NATO ally, and therefore he fears that NATO will try to overtake Russia, and he feels that if he, I don't know, because if you invade Ukraine and you put your puppet in, then you will still have a NATO ally next door. But the fight is not going as planned. The Ukrainians are fighting like hell for their country. Why is that? Because most of the people on the Russian side did not even know they was going to a war. Propaganda told them you're going to train, you're going to assimilate these people into our way of doing things. We have texts come out that a young man has said, Mom, I did not know we was here to kill people. They're fighting us. They're asking us to go back. You have people in Russia being jailed and killed because they are standing up against Putin. One of the oligarchs of Russia decided to sell his value or his stock or his equity in one of a really big team, a sports team, and send the money to Ukraine in order to aid and to help. Now, this is one of Putin's close friends, very close. Why? Because now we are putting sanctions on the Russian people that is actually hurting the power that be. Something that we should have done a long time ago. So time and time again, the Ukrainian is coming out and saying that Joe Biden, the UN, nor NATO, or the UE are doing enough and to help support them. And they say, listen, we've been allies. We have lived by treaties that we have signed, but yet and still you guys are doing nothing to help us. And they are saying, we do not need your troops. We don't want your people on our land. We just need the weapons to fight back. They have been saying the same thing since day one. So I don't understand on day 7 why we are hearing the same thing. Every single person from the parliament in Ukraine who comes on TV says the same thing. We do not want Americans to fight. We just need weapons. Give us the weapons to fight for ourselves. And we can't do that. Why? Do you know that we are still spending millions and billions of dollars a day in Russia? We are funding the genocide of the Ukrainian people. Why? Because our leaders are too weak to shut Russia down. For them to come on national TV and say they don't know if Vladimir Putin is a war criminal or not. What the hell? This man invaded a sovereign country, blowing up hospitals, family homes, and killing innocent children and women, and you don't know if he committed a war crime yet. He allegedly bombed cities using the evaporating bomb, whatever. So basically, it sucks the air from the sky and blow up people's organs. This is the stuff that's happening. And I keep telling y'all, told y'all after Donald Trump lost the election, I said, guys, we're about to go into peace and quiet, but stay watch. Why? Because every time it get too quiet, that means the people that need to be in place are in place. So therefore, they can do what they need to do behind the scenes. And that's what happened. So our thoughts and prayers are with the Ukrainian people. Because right now, they are just waiting. If the weapons do not get to them in time, they are going to die. The president that you see right here, he's number one on Putin's hit list, and his family is number two, and they understand that. But they fighting tooth and nail in order to keep their country. So Biden is saying we don't want the troops to go onto Ukraine soil because we don't want to enter into World War III, which is inevitable at this point. Inevitable at this point. Why do I say that? I say that because we keep hearing Putin, but not listening to Putin. Because he already said that he wants to expand the border beyond Ukraine. He already said that he had his nukes on high alert. So he's ready for war. But if we keep leading from behind, he's going to have an advantage every single time. What is my opinion? My opinion is to kill him, cut his head off, and every military general alongside of him. But we have to do more because the weakness of America will not go unnoticed. Right now, China is looking. So when they go and invade Taiwan, they know exactly what they're standing up against. I'm pretty sure Kim Jong-un is looking. Damn, if Putin can go over to Ukraine, let me try to get to South Korea. Y'all, it's more than just American life. And we thought we was getting rid of the issue, but we actually voted the problem back into office. Since Biden got in office, it is not because Biden is a Democrat, don't get me wrong. It's because Biden is a part of the system. He's a part of the system. And we have to start voting the system out. We got to get rid of Mitch McConnell. We got to get rid of Chuck Schumer. We got to get rid of Nancy Pelosi. We have to get rid of the system. But we cannot have Tlaib and AOC and the Likens coming in and trying to pull the country so far away from the center. Because we have to work together. We have to work together. And that's something that you did not hear in the State of the Union and you're not seeing when it comes to Ukraine. So I will say before the end of the year, if not before the end of summer, we're going to be at war. Because either Russia is going to try to go further than Ukraine, or one of the NATO allies are going to get hit. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. And thank you for joining us tonight. And I wish this other part of the system be working next week so I don't have to play with a screen in order to do everything I need to do. And this is very ghetto and very tiresome. But anyway, love you guys. I will see you guys next week. And don't forget, MJ Fitness present March Madness. It's gonna be March the 10th through the 31st. That's 21 days. Our goal is 5 pounds. My goal is to help you lose 5 pounds. Should be easy because I'm pretty sure most of it going to be your water weights, but we can do it. All right, love you guys. More information about that is going to come soon. It's totally free, and we'll see what happens. You guys be safe.